You gotta start forgetting about the past if you're a Heat, because it's time to think about the future. Ancient coming in, that's Big's map pick. And that's why Heat will be able to start off CT side on the second time in a row. And you might be wondering, why would Big go T side on Inferno? Go check the score and you'll figure it out. Marco, though, standing off in the middle, will spot out the first play and dart the hell out of there.
Double dualies here for Heat, and we've seen some good production out of these pistols when they've gone into CT buys with them. Let's hope it can be enough to turn the tide because, yeah, for those not keeping up, 16-6 the scoreline on the last map. That was Heat's pick in the series, and so they need to find redemption here on Ancient. Good damage to kick off the proceeding. Rasmo down to 50, and they've already pressured them back on that B bomb site. A will instead be the target, and being dealt with inside of the donut is Maka. 1-for-1 won't be enough. Quickest rotate is Exorcise, but he doesn't have sight lines to stop them getting onto the site, so bomb can go down.
Missing out on the first opportunity to get a kill over there as well, so it's not even going to be an advantage. Keto with the recovered dualies is just going to try and push right through. Good for the one, not for the two. Exorcise has decided these dualies can go one way, while Mike can go three ways instead, and now he's been discovered and brought down. Lucky and Joko with a quick flurry will come back through, though, and I've got to say, Michael, Lucky, even yesterday, was looking really good on these dualies.
Yeah, and showing exactly why. Great pacing coming back into that bomb site. As soon as they got Exorcise out of Temple, they just barrel through the CT smoke, and Big weren't quite ready for all that aggression to come in simultaneously. Divided attention on the post plant, and Heat will take the pistol round, keep themselves in a position where they can actually get a jump start coming into this game. You know, very slow burner, slow start from Heat on Inferno. And we saw them wake up a little bit towards the tail end of that last map, but again, it's such a far cry away from saying that he can come back into this game. Big just looks so clean on the way that they were executing that first map. Good kill from Joko to kick off the affair on the B play here from Big. Very fast pace, but the FAMAS does it all. Joko with 3 kills so far and switching out to the pistols. Flash is good for Tapson to at least get a trade right back, but Hyped is now all that remains, and he's swarmed from all angles. Heat up to 2, and Big not getting too much done on the force buy. This will have them bend the knee coming into this round. Could, of course, squeak out a buy if they wanted to opt for Galils and the sort, but they like working with optimal setups. They'll instead stick to pistols. Heat should be able to get up to a third if they're able to dispatch of this third round just as quickly as the second.
And already up to a great start on Ancient. Remember, just to remind everyone, this is Big's pick. I will reiterate that a couple of times over, perhaps, but even so.
And an adjusted map as well. You know, something that we've talked a lot about in previous matchups, but every time Ancient comes up in these recent games, we have to talk about how the spawns have been adjusted. T-side can get a lot more free mid-control. To see how that comes into play, because it's just been site selection between the two, and this time there will be a B-sided plant. Joko flashed up, but so are all the T's, so Joko survives. And a 5-on-3 for this hold that Joko won't be able to contribute much more to, but he's done enough. 3 kills, and yeah, Big are just happy with the fact they got the extra plant bonus. Again, 4 survivors for Heat.
To be fair, I think Big would have been fine to buy anyway. This is actually really good for Heat, because when you're getting the bomb plant down and you've got utility like Big did, but you know, still a couple of flashes and the like left over, you're expecting this to be such a rough retake that the CTs shouldn't be alive with more than 2 players, to be honest. For me personally, that's what I look at it as. This is a big win for Heat in that vein. And yes, Big are not going to be too unhappy, right? You do get a bomb plant, but the next round was going to be a gun round anyhow. Right now, though, it's all about continuing that preservation from Heat. They cannot afford to lose out on too many weapons. That's got to be a secondary goal along with just the raw, yeah, we have to win the round.
I have to say a really good sign as well is that Joko's got engaged into this game nice and early. Has been playing exceptional so far in these close qualifiers. Felt his absence on Inferno tenfold when Exorcise has to be the one to step up. This time Joko will get plucked out of the round by Hype's AWP. This reinvestment here from Big is substantial. They had so much cash floating into round number 4. Exorcise keeping a handle on it. So will Lucky, in fact. Cave not being smoked off or even sectioned by the Big side does mean that they've left themselves very exposed on the B site. Hype will have to push forward if they want a way out.
Well, as he continues to move in, there's a secondary set of smokes and the fadeaway. That's where Hype can come through and come up. Lucky is still Very much alive inside cave, but being mollied off means that they can try and isolate down the back CT angles and hold them for a while longer. Tabson spots out Lucky. The question is, will he continue to challenge? Well, he does, but not for too much longer. It is the full retake attempt to continue forward. Lucky's already down. Another Molotov. It feels like Big hasn't used any utility at all scaling onto the bomb site with the amount of tiny little bits and pieces they've still got left to prevent this retake. And yep, that'll be all she wrote. HEET will back off and run away to try and fight another day.
Yeah, that one kill from Hyped pushing into the long smoke is one that immediately changed the tone of this round. All the flank was coming out from HEET. 3 players were trying to come in from behind, and that's a great set of double exits there for Maka, lining up very opportunely so. Gets his hands on that AWP as well, so that cannot be rebought here for Big. That's what got them into the round. Hyped kicked off the affair onto Joko, but then also allowed them to get that security in the plant.
I have to say, man, I'm really enjoying Hype going for plays like that and the like, right? Even that 2v5 on Inferno where he comes up big with a 4K. He's not had the best of times so far in the qualifiers. He's been all right, but seeing him make plays like that and the like, I was worried that we might lose that when Searson's not around. So good to see. Rasmo, in the meanwhile, has taken down the man with the spotlight on him. That spotlight ends up being a target instead. Maka up at the ready. He's been stellar at times before as well. And as XSCs will be suffering underneath the flames, it's Falvin to come in from the side, pushes through his own smoke, and will pick up a quick one. Joko, unexpected. Tabson, a rare moment of being caught out and caught off. Will end up falling as Maka pushes forward. Got to pull out the Tech 9. That's the 5 bullets coming into play. Falvin almost catches them all. But it's all down to Crimbo. This one-on-one. Gifted to him by Falvin. And so much time to work with Joko. He's thinking, can that time start to work for the CTs instead? Crimbo might not realize it, but Joko's even exploring the idea of a full wraparound through middle. And Crimbo's going to take his sweet time. He knows Joko was last seen closer towards Temple as well. He could have taken a more internal position, but Joko's gone for the long con.
Oh my
and
God.
he's going back to the B bomb site.
Oh, if he had jumped up ledge and immediately got cave, he gets to B before Crimbo does, and he would have heard the sound cues. But now Crimbo actually has the advantage here. Joko wasn't fully convinced with his play.
Even so, a lot more time shaved off. Crimbo's not going to be expecting this. He's not going to be expecting the player to already be inside cave, though, Michael. The problem is, Joko's got a smoke with no kit behind it. How are you going to play this if you're Crimbo? Joko needs a kill. Oh, Crimbo might end up getting the flank on the flank. Crimbo has somehow managed to make this look like the ultimate play, a picture of perfection, and he's getting ready. Joko's tapped the bomb. The clock is ticking down low. Crimbo's made noise, and he'd already won the round before he even got the kill, but no. We'll still get the frag nonetheless. HEET confined to 3, courtesy of Falvin and Crimbo.
Oh, they're going to be ruining the day they jumped through that CT smoke. I can't believe they gave Falvin an opportunity like that. That smoke bloomed in their faces. Only one confirmed CT, but they just barrel through, and Falvin punished. That's what changed the tone of that round, and Joko tried to mastermind it by playing off of the bomb and simply wrapping round, but yeah, cut high and dry. Crimbo too aware. Fantastic timings, and a player that when he stepped onto the scene was a big clutch man for Big. Hasn't had the same reproduction in later showings, but getting a full taste of it there. And sure, there's a lot of casualties here for Big, but they were heavily clustered in numbers. For the investment, that's about as much as you can ask for from HEET. Still will be a big round, albeit with only 2 survivors. Turning point in this game now. Money is still kept modest on the Big side in spite of consecutive rounds, and HEET with this reinvestment win this round. It's about as good for 2 for either side.
Once again, looks like they want to try and fight it out. Worked out so well for them in the previous one. Hell, this might be another opportunity. Lucky. He is flirting with the idea of just pushing through K, but Tabson in the meanwhile is a man of madness.
What a mad play to go for. How did he find the perfect timing? Exorcist has to be kicking himself. Had he kept his gun out, that's a free kill.
think he heard Ecstasy's jumping up and down, to be honest, over there. Well, Rasmo will be able to recover the frag and tries to go for a bit more. Damage is good. Marco's been set up for what could be success if he's able to get in position fast enough to stop this push from Donut to come through. There aren't flashes available. Marco is in a very good position. Picks up the first one. Is able to proceed on to the bomb site, giving himself some cover to work off of. And Big are not having a good time here. Not at all. Farvan, with the bomb plant, will at least give himself a chance here. And as he starts to fade back into Temple, that's where he'll elect to play from. 6 bullets in that magazine. Not very much for a full 1v3. Not unless you go for a full beast mode situation. But that might be it. Farvan, he is hearing his inner bear. He's coming from behind. A quick few taps and he'll get the frags. But now, once again, the attempt of the defuse coming out. It's Marka who's trying to hold on and save his teammate for a while longer. Joko will be covered off. And Farvan, despite a nice little attempt, will not find the frag.
Yeah, nice little heads up there from Joko. As soon as they got that smoke on the bomb and they realized where he was, went for an off-axis defuse where had he sat directly on top of it, Farvan might have been able to connect on the spam, but just from that angle, not even possible. A risky play, you know, probably a low percentage play for Farvan to go for, but you also see that HEET were accounting for many of the more standard options and just not able to convert on it. Singular scout bought by Farvan and some upgraded pistols alongside it here for Big. Let's see if he can find a head. Joko's been peeking the long side at later moments into these rounds, given that they got punished by an ult previously. And, well, Farvan gets shot down before he even gets a chance to swing.
Oh, what a way to top out the enemy upper. Aki will be also very important in this position as he starts to wonder about when he can actually afford to get aggressive. Joko on the spot up will find nothing so far. I do believe that Hype is in a slightly more cornered position, and that means Joko should be able to spot him out. Hype even thought about pushing forward, misses out the shot though, and Joko's spam will not connect either. CTs have started to split up a lot, and this is where if you're able to find a quick kill at any point of the bomb, at any point of the map rather, this could open things up to a bomb plant. Oh, Tabson is such a weasel right now. All the way through Red Room on the lurk. Rasmo is the major player they have to deal with, and the problem is they've only got Drox and a P250. That simply won't be enough. Needed the Deagle of Tabson, which is good for one, but just not the position you needed that one.
Worthwhile for Hype to die, even if he goes for this effort and doesn't get too much. Oh my god, what? That was so quick, too quick. Oh my goodness.
Oh my god, he is the second coming of Sursen. I'm sorry, this is it. What is it with German Oppers and their scouting ability?
Listen, man, he's not had a great tournament. This is probably the sharpest performance I think I've seen from Hype so far in the games we've explored in the IEM Brazil close qualifier so far. I mean, good shooting on the scout. That second shot on the scout was
that's insane,
disgusting. I thought he was resigning himself to death.
Listen, man, you're talking about not having a good tournament. Hey, man, that sounds a lot like Sursen as well. He doesn't have a good tournament until he does.
Yeah, sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe not. Well, money is not great for HEET. They'll have to know that they're again on the precipice of having this overturned, and the reinvestment from Big should come out. Hyped on the Mac 10. That's how you reward him after getting so many kills and coming forward with an M4. Farvan will be gifted the A1S. They're going to try and go quick, I imagine.
He's got the spawn for it, so you're probably right about that one. Flashes overhead very early on, and this is where Joko's got to come through and put up a show once again. He's only got the MP9. He's got the first, not the second flashbang. Was there to keep Tapson blind, but even so, Tapson's not just good for the one, makes it a double. With Crimbo still left behind to keep an eye out for the flankers to come in. Crimbo has to be careful he doesn't just get pushed upon. Exorcise is very wary of the possibility of a player position here. And Thompson caught off completely. Crimbo trades. And it looks like he's just been set up for the most perfect round in the world.
Great double entry there from Tabson. Maybe a stern talking to Crimbo because he thought his back was covered. Crimbo did have it covered, but only if Tabson had hid. Still maybe just teeing him up for it. Nice little double. Some elements of team play there for the post plant, but Heat were pretty scrambled after the pace that Big implemented. Back within touching distance, and Heat on upgraded pistols to combat it. This is a full force buy. This would set them back, and this would allow Big to take the lead should they lose this one. Exorcise just spotting one, but dropping the smoke. It doesn't do a whole lot. Massive gap around the side of it, and enough that Big can explore that option. Jumping above, that's some good tag damage there from Exorcise, and the first headshot connects for Rasmo. Exorcise is on a man on a mission, and he actually finds the gap. A double headshot, just slotting himself between the two T's, and the recovered AK. Exorcise is doing the most for Heat right now. Joko up close, and Tabson's left in a clutch situation that's hard to pull out from. Joko finally dealt with, and Tabson has the read. Maka sussed out, and so Tabson won't miss. Ult recovered, a 5th round for Big, but it comes at hefty cost.
It's not every day that you see a 1v3 from Tabson and think that's not even the best 3K in the round.
That's
what in the world is that from Exorcise? Just... God, he just starts... He just out there, he just starts shooting, and it goes bang, bang. Pulls
and then
up the
I started
AK off the double
blasting.
DK. Yeah. Thanks for fixing the reference for me. All I remember is the meme image. God. Well, this train's about to get run over by a couple of T-Star players. Crimbo, thank you very much.
Good control. Shot his teammate on the interim, but won the round. Teammate wasn't low enough that he died, and Crimbo barely survived himself. About as much as you can hope from a round with USPs. You know, it's a gimmick. You can stack, you can sit by, but they just want to get it over and done with, and maybe even flank out mid-control if Big decide to prioritize that. I have noticed that because the spawns are more in favor of the T side, there's actually less of an effort to get out middle to a certain degree. You know, 1 or 2 players is about as much as you'd get in the current state of the meta. Tabson's really trying to pull out all the tricks. Tried to creep Red Room in rounds prior, caught Exorcise off, now just walking headfirst into Donut. Got space at A, though.
Faven completely caught off. This is just double blindsided as the CTs are going to continue raining down. Hype, the only person to actually come through and get a kill, and he's got plenty of time to try and work out the map and see where else he can find some damage. But I have to say, Heat looking so much better right now than they did on Inferno. And look, it's not hard to look better than a 12-3 half on the CT side, right? But individuals showing up a lot more. Exorcise still managing to maintain that form, and Rasmo as well, getting a lot more involved.
Oh, it was even worse than that. It was a 13-2 half.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Again, I mean, your point still stands. It's not hard to look better than what that was, but yeah, I think we saw signs that they were waking up and getting a bit more sort of individual skill back. It felt like they came in on a real slow burner. You know, they forgot to put coals in the furnace. But now the engine's up and running. Maybe not optimal settings, but enough that they're contesting Big.
Chugging along is all you can really ask for. That and a third map. I'm not going to lie. I want to see more of the Maka hyped as Maka starts to maybe hopefully pick up some steam as well, and Hype can continue this form. Hey, who knows? It's a great test. And Maka, well, right now that test has been a little bit faulty, but fortunately for him, lucky he's got the spam down to a key. Oh, Exorcise. He's found a lot of map control, and he's maybe even thinking of going for a fast flank over. Now, what he has to be careful about is Tapson is actually very wary of it. Joko's push finds Faben. Once again, the CT's managing to blindside out Big a little bit.
Good info from Rasmo as well, spotted Crimbo in the cross at A. So knows that there's going to be something coming. Flash timing is perfect, and Maka can simply sit on the bomb site, Hopefully plucks out more numbers. Exorcy's over pushing, trying to commit to the flank, and Crimbo goes through the smoke. Now Akito 1v3, and they know exactly where he was last seen, but not expecting both to be prepared from him on the mid peak. Heat, great adaptations, great rotations, even with this pressure mounting at A. They don't let that opportunity slip on by, and they're getting some good production out of that man that we definitely call into criticism. I remember the last time we saw Heat on Ancient, Rasmo was getting punished on some of these quick A plays, sometimes over-rotating, you know, a little antsy, but committing to his role as an anchor now, and it pays off in dividends for a 7th round.
And obviously, he's the most unknown player of the team right now, right? So he would be the equivalent of a HEET, maybe a little bit more so, and as much shine as we put on the German side, that's not too far off for Rasmo right now. He's doing very well. They've recovered after what we saw yesterday as well. Oh. Why, thank you. Deep grenade as well. Maka will be content to go ahead and pick up another one. Okay, he is wanting to push through. What's going on here, Maka? Be careful. Not because you might die. You might steal my heart with shots like that.
I mean, that just looks so free-flowing. Not a care in the world there from Maka.
A classical dancer. Beethoven would be proud.
Well, I have to call a pause. Crimbo's decided that this symphony, he doesn't want to partake in. He didn't pay for tickets. But he wasn't that interested in the concert in the first place.
I thought this was Imagine Dragons. Ah, well.
Yeah, that is disappointing, to be fair.
Couple of opportunities. Oh, they don't recover the op.
That they don't, but Exorcies can drop one over.
Shouldn't matter, yeah. It's the last round of the half.
Yeah, have a performance like that on B. I don't imagine it takes much to convince your teammates it's worthwhile. But I worked hard for this money. 8-6, and maybe Big squeak out a 7th. He'd have been doing a great job so far on the CT side, quelling the flames of what was a complete cauterization on Inferno. Maka even trying to peek in from Cave. Keto gonna get caught out because of it. No extra utility to help facilitate that peek, so just dry for Maka, and he's good for a double. Exorcise as well, alleviating any pressure on middle. Maka's just a man unhinged. 2 kills, and he's like, yeah, I've done my job. Time to push for more. Even swapped out for the rifle to go for his efforts. Very deep Molotov. Not going to finish off Crimbo, but they're pretty boxed in. They, I think, know what's happening here on the Heat side. More reinforcements will make its way over to make sure that this B bomb side doesn't get overwhelmed. The Exorcist picking up middle, but big crawl to a halt. And it's looking like Heat are expecting a 9th to be guaranteed. A 2-on-4 that looks mighty hard to combat out of.
Are we sure we're seeing the same Heat play right now? Right? Like, can someone get cameras on these guys? Did they just get 5 times better in the transition? More importantly, 5 times more comfortable.
Yeah.
It's like water.
Yeah, we sure we had the
whip of it.
We sure we had the veto right, you know.
Yeah, I honestly, I was questioning that, but now not anymore. Not at all. One last opportunity to try and steal out a round. Try and prevent the 9. Joko wants to just push through the smoke as long as he can find one. He knows it's more than worth it. And, well, with his own smoke down, flashbang avoided. Make it 2. No, Hype prevents it. AWP recovering now with the bomb pulled out. It's a missed timing and a missed opportunity. He will find the 9, and Big will have to go back to the drawing board for that second half. We'll be back after a short break. Looking like a different team right now, and I am loving it. Heat. An opportunity to stomp down on Big Clan and take it to 3, but is it an opportunity they'll be able to make use of is the big question. Joko wants to give me some answers.
Sure, certainly a lot to be held accountable for here if you're big. Their map pick into the series and coming in trailing, moving into their CT side. Kido, wow, okay, nice and sharp. Maka already dealt with and hypes up close with the dual leads. They don't fully clear for it. It's a haphazard check, but only good for one. Kido, a double kill on this bomb site, and Favin's there to help and provide support. 1-on-4, Exorcist, 2 pistols, but no friends, and no round here either for Heat. Pistol round 1 for the second half by Big.
Those USBs are looking clean, man. That's lock, stock, and a couple of smoking barrels. Right there for Big. What? That puts him on both pistol rounds this map, I believe. And, yep. Should be it. Heat's going to choose to actually fully save into the next one. They just want to have as much money as humanly possible. Except for Exorcist, who's feeling like he can maybe get a little bit spendthrift. Pull out a P250, why don't you? Go down. Hyped is coming in, and any small little inkling that you had that, hey, maybe they won't have an op in that first gun round because we're saving over here. Now that's gone. Hyped has every opportunity to purchase something that he could possibly want. The question is, will he choose to do so?
Had to double check. CT pistol won by both sides, so because we had that A retake from Heat. No, I do have the memory of a goldfish, but I had to really strain my brain for that one. Still, a nice way to jumpstart the engine. With the reinvestment now from Heat, this will be the closest contest we'll see so far the second half outside of the pistol. And they have better weaponry to fight at distance. That will be the main fact. SMG is not conducive to those fights, but can be great for holding bomb sites and playing around smokes. Might be a great position, really, for even Keto, but he's the one with the M4 and deciding to go for a lot of spam. They're spamming right back and doing far more damage than the other way around. Keto has to back himself away. Might even give that M4 over to Favin. Might be able to get better longevity out of it.
Favin is also pretty nasty with the A4, so I would not hate that. Exactly what ends up happening. Keto's already said goodbye. Favin on the other side just comes back over, make it a double. Thank you very much. Oh.
Don't think Lucky could see anything. He only reacted to him getting shot. Thompson made an effort to recover that M4 and does so in spades. Hype does a lot of control as well, so rotates back to the A bomb site would be met with some resistance. So committing forward into B, they'll go. Smoke down and a Molotov over at long. No one peeking here for Big, but Tapson finds a great timing. Rasmo cut down. Bomb's already crossed and actually can go down. Hyped is committing to that flank and hoping to pressure the backlines as that smoke fades. But they need to get this bomb planted, otherwise Big will collect themselves too quickly for Heat to do much about it. Molotov down. Exorcist can't plant.
Hyped is being set up for the big flank, and Exorcist is basically a goner. With that, the bomb will be dropped. Hyped even giving himself some time for some trigger discipline, but calls been made. 8 seconds on the clock. They won't try and wait the time out, and Lucky will end up falling. 3 players kept alive, and all of those rifles looking nice and juicy.
Yeah, I think a big lack of urgency there from Heat. They had so little utility in the 2-on-3. They had to make use of what was already down, and if they don't get that bomb planted, then it just becomes a much more difficult round to have play out. Big had options, and we saw exactly what they were tailoring all that extra time bought into. I have to say, liking what we've seen from Hyped in particular on this map. So that's some really solid mini highlights for himself, but has also been consistently fragging throughout, up to 19 kills, currently leading in the scoreboard for the whole game. And this is one of their academy players. You know, this is not the first time that Big have rung up the academy squad and gone, hey, we might need one of you to step in. But talked about it earlier, you know, the importance of the AWP. That's a very terrifying position to have a player called up for, because
100%.
you are one of the most important pieces in current day Counter-Strike.
And, you know, shout out to Drowlon, who was kind enough to reply to me on Twitter, the Chief Digital Officer for Big. He did mention that the big focus for them in the Academy team is making sure that it's these players are plug-and-play ready. I'm imagining there's a lot of, like, inter-scrimming and whatnot going on as well. I think that's one of the things that teams haven't done a very good job of using their Academy teams for, is just, you know, designating a few specific styles of scrims and trying to get the most out of them. It's we are unfortunately still a little bit far behind as far as figuring out the best ways to make use of additional resources. But no additional resources here needed for Big, as they will just be going forward for a quick old cleanup. HEET will pad up with 3 more kills, bringing him up to 22.
I do love the flex every now and again that we get from, I'd say, older school players. You know, there was once upon a time tabseN was honed in as the new age, but now is considered probably pretty old school. You know, just going for tap jiggle peaks like that and showing them that, listen, might have different roles these days, but still can't stop talking about the type of star potential this guy can still express on the server.
Yeah. Red. Oh, hold the point, Lucky. Oh, he's also aggressive, but Keto is fully aware and fully ready for that push to come through. The second he hears the Molotov being extinguished, Lucky's gone. Joko. Great first half, but second is where he will be put to the test, and that test is going to be delayed for a while longer. No one actually presenting themselves from the CT side, and HEET are hoping that Big will be the ones to make a mistake. But with the flashbang through, tabseN does not make mistakes.
Yeah, it's all well calculated. Deep flash from Hype to enable that peak. Maka's AWP will actually land the tag on Keto, but not finishing off the frag will come back to haunt them. Still a 5-on-3, and they're boxed in. Once again, there will be a flank operating here for Big in the late round. Last time it was Hyped, this time tabseN. I think Razmo has to be a little suspicious. That's a possibility. Starting to turn himself away, but 40 seconds they have to refixate. And Molotov didn't even... That's so unfortunate for tabseN. The Molotov missed, and yet he's still sectioned off. Razmo still hasn't made much progress in at ramp, so I guess tabseN's not too late to the party.
tabseN's given up the call. He knows exactly what's going on over here. Good for the one, and now they can't actually get the bomb planted down. 20 seconds. It's all a game of time, and time's running out for Marker. He will plant. tabseN delays his ascent up the stairs long enough to do so, but still 11th round found for Big.
You imagine if there was a little bit more speed there from HEET after they flubbed the Molotov. That actually could have worked out in a weird way. You know, tabseN would have been delayed on the flank. They would have been smoked off on short, and all they'd have to really fixate on is clearing the bomb site as well as long if you're the HEET players. But how are they to know? They were expecting after maybe some of that missed utility, they could find somebody overstep. You know, maybe it was a fake that was messed up by the HEET camp and Big would get inquisitive. Those are different ways you can maybe try to justify or think about what was going through their minds in that moment.
To be honest, Michael, oh, hold the point. Keto about to take a first duel. This time there's a flashbang there, so he won't be able to be as relaxed about it as the previous round. I didn't actually realize that was a flop Molotov until after you pointed out in the previous one.
Just kind
of
of
on purpose. Oh, made it down, but he's still good for the frag, regardless of all the utility flowing through. HEET have managed to make this a very successful looking round and a bit shaky. On the aim from Hype means that he's missed out on an opportunity to at least think about a highlight.
Yeah, he's not even thinking about it, so... Called it quits. No one else could buy themselves a kill. So saving this weapon will be his priority. They have money to buy regardless of what happens to this weapon, but it's all about the long game. Everything adds up in the end, and gotta say, much faster paced from Heat. They got the kill in cave. They were able to as well find a follow-up through middle. And then each and every big player that came to greet them ended up suffering the same fate. So they've tried to go for faster plays in past rounds. You know, we've seen some independent work. Sometimes it's Keto that takes this contacted cave that's able to get the edge over Heat. You know, when they've lost that man advantage, they've slowed down substantially, but because they got the kill, they roll with the punches straight into a bomb site and a round win.
Still some money in the tank for Big, but it is going to get a little bit troublesome if he actually wins this round out. Oh, bullets dodged. Joko thinks better of it.
Yeah, almost walked into it. Just like, had to take a little stutter step back.
Whoops, oh, not there. Okay.
It's only got so many bullets. Not enough negatives in my experience.
Ooh.
Headshot for headshot. Lucky he took a dink, but also returned the favor. Hyped will swing out with a USP because he knew he was low. Joker was caught unaware, wasn't even looking for a potential secondary swing.
This could be very dangerous, though. The fact that Maka on the boost is going to be able to spot out Tamsin's shove spotting, but can't actually end up punishing it. Thought for a second that would have been a big frag to find. Instead, it's Razmo to discover Keto pushing into him. Keto felt like he required information. This is one thing that Heat was very good on. Punishing B&E as well, just when they're trying to go for information peaks, but Crimbo's got a few angles of his own to work off of, and he turns the clock right back to a 3-on-3.
Yeah, that angle is so grimy there from Crimbo. Super hard to line up that headshot. This will be a 3-on-1 on the B bomb site if they can activate on Exorcise. His main priority is making sure there's no reinforcements. Tapson making his way over. Exorcise ready to greet him, and now Hyped has to perform a 1-on-2 coming his way. They almost actually they do line up for him. Joko collateraled in the back, so down to 14 HP. Hyped not to know, but that's the bomb dropped. All he has to do is survive. Exorcise has no hope in winning this. Had to win by elimination, but he knows his time is up. 12th round here from Big, and delivered by Hype, our stand-in, our big come-up from the Academy squad. Still leads the server, and no more critical multi-kills than that one right there.
I know who's feeling himself right now. The man's got an H in the beginning and a 3K at the end of every round, seemingly, that they need to win out. He's been fantastic this map. 26 kills, and yes, slightly padded in a few of those eco rounds. Let's not forget the 4K from the MP9 and 3 against the USBs. But hey, man, that's all in the game. It's all in the game. 26 regardless is fantastic to see him hitting this kind of form. And just to remind everyone, yes, Heat is a relatively newer team that's been put together. They're not necessarily the top of the top, but Maka is an explosive AWP. It's not like this is just a very simple, easy AWP deal that is coming your way. Heat are throwing their flashbangs on Ancient. They've been much better about the utility. They've been much better about dodging util on Ancient as well. This is... it's a promising performance right now.
Yeah, I think a good way to describe it, you know, coming into this half, 9-6 advantage for Heat, only one success so far. That was when they were able to get, I mean, entry after entry. Sometimes that's just how rounds play out. Triple nade from Big won't find too much. If someone gone aggressive to cave, would have been in for a nasty surprise. They should know that there's a third player over at B. Okay, Exorcise out in the open. No smokes, no util, no nothing. Tabson says, no chance.
Kid is feeling a lot more aggressive this time over, trying to give Fabian an opportunity to bait his reload sounds out, but instead they both will just end up falling. Hype's got another chance and he'll take it. And getting the advantage over us that easy, he says. And now he's starting to get aggressive. Oh, right down B main. He's gone. Dodging out crosshairs onto his B bomb site marker. The only one still left behind him, but Rasmo's discovery. Wouldn't be too surprised to see Hype even push all the way through and spot out the bomb. Rasmo, however, is going to continue forward. Flashbang dodged out. Crimbo not taking the peek behind it. And as Tabson peeks out, the round is gone. Marker's barely got any HP either, but Hype might just be walking into it. Marker, he's got a freebie. He's got a freebie. Has to try and back off as much as he can, but will just get the kill initially. Knows he should have the time to plant the bomb and reposition regardless. A full belt of utility behind it, but who's rotated over? It's Tabson. Might be down in the red, but well, might still want to go for this peak, and as he goes in circles around the corner, will be able to prevent the bomb from being planted.
Yeah, had to just hope that nobody had already crossed, you know, with Hype fully clearing out the B bomb site. He was hoping that nobody would be close enough by that they can make that rotation in, so that Molotov was supposed to section them off so he could get that plant down, but Tabson was too quick on his feet. One of the few mistakes we've seen Hype to make. Didn't know that the bomb wasn't with either of the Heat members, so had to try and play like he was hunting for that kill. Double smokes for mid. That's miscommunication. Who is doing what? Wasted resources. Cannot come at a time like this. Big are approaching the end objective. Only 3 to separate them and Heat, but also 3 that separate Big from a finish. 2-0. A lot of presence in the middle this time in from Heat. Usually only 1 or 2 players committed. But now they send the whole gang. Smoke will fade in Donut, and no one's close enough by. Crimbo dodging flashes. Not going to be in an exposed area, and will get overwhelmed. Tabson gets to the party, but overwhelmed just the same. They're cut off. Completely sectioned. Flashes in, and Hyped can't get anything with this all blinded up. A 3-on-5. Big may just call a save here. They don't have the funds to really commit to this, and they call it quits.
Just like you said it before, one of the rounds that Heat got was just entry after entry, and yes, some rounds are just like it. This was one of those. They were really gambling on one of 2 things. That, hey, if Tabson wants to contest us mid the way he did Exorcise in the previous round, well, he's got 5 players staring him down. That's not going to be a good time. Or alternatively, we just walk up and walk in. Cheetah's not been giving us too many sort of assists in winning the round so far. B-side generally had closer to 3 players on it. More often than not, let's just try and make the quick play.
Yeah, I just found a good timing around that donut smoke. You know, they may have made a little blunder by throwing 2 smokes for middle, but that's because their objective was always to make that cross. Even if they'd been set up inside of Donut, you know, at most you're getting 1 kill. Don't think it would have changed the circumstances too much if it was say a 4-on-3. Big would have still felt a little bit oppressed away from an A bomb site. Say Joko eats the nade. We saw a nade stack in a round prior go completely missed. This time the connection's there, and Joko even getting fanned by those flames.
Wow. Oh! Will get spammed down at the end of it all, but it's still Hype who's actually taking the close angle, re-peeking over. Hype wants to keep it going!
Dude!
And why stop when you can just re-peek, re-peek, re-peek? That's the question.
You just know it's just one of those games for Hyped. He's so in the zone that everything he seems to do is just coming up with multi-kills. Like, this guy has been a 3K machine.
Crucial ones as well on top of it all.
Yeah, I mean, solo on an A play, getting those 3 kills, and then also, yeah, hard to forget the one where he stopped potential plants and late round conversions on the B bomb site.
Marco catches Keto completely out and off guard. That's one of the first few times they've gotten aggressive in a while. Farben. Molotov will not spread to him, but with a flashbang out of his face. Marco peeks a bit early. Does get the damage, but not the frag. Even so, Crimbo. Taking up. Ay, that could have been perfect. Instead, they've got to face down 2 players. Tabson will be traded up, but Crimbo unexpected. Flashbang to the bum. What a way to lose the round, potentially, but the round's not gone yet. Farben, let's not forget, he is very low. Molotov goes in deep. Farben's found the frag, and as the bomb, the Molotov will be ticking away. Flashbang to dodge. Lucky, bomb planted. 2 players, one of them low. This is certainly doable, but Has to make sure he's avoiding every flashbang that's likely to come his way. This is a great angle to do just that. Farben peeking forward if he's the one to make first contact. He's pretty much a dead man walking. Foot's been spotted. Lucky. Needs to get this frag, and Farben wants to go for the quick little re-peek over once the smoke push comes through, and Farben's played it perfectly.
15 rounds now for Big, and small blunders just keep on adding up. Last time, it didn't seem to affect Heat's result on the A-bomb site. This time, yeah, I could have potentially broken down that mid setup, giving them an extra second or two to collect on that one kill and gather their thoughts on where a second could be. Retake is going to be brutal. Gonna have to stew on that one. Heat just came in too slow to this series. Sure, their engines came online, but I mean, they probably also weren't expecting this kind of performance in from Hyped. Think about all the threats Big have, whether that's Farven, I mean, Crimbo, sometimes massive in clutches, Keto as well coming back in, and not to mention Tabson. Thought those are the main ones you had to deal with, but it's the young buck instead, and Crimbo's inserted himself in a swarm of T's. That's the bomb drop. The first contact, it confirms exactly where the hit is coming into, and Crimbo has no escape, but rotates are coming in thick and fast here for Big. There is no running back for Heat.
Turn set up for success, just comes up, makes it look easy. 16-11, Big will close it out. Heat will not have a miracle recovery the way they did yesterday. Instead, they are knocked out of the Intel Extreme Masters Brazilian European qualifiers. And it will be Big to proceed forward and face off against the victor of ENS versus Monty. Michael, gotta say, man, that was a lot closer, but still, what a series coming out of Big.
Yeah, I mean, just to continue to harp on the point, Hyped even on that last play, able to get some very good solid kills. I mean,